In today's video, we're going to be going over lazy versus pro guitarist. Now I know a lot of people will be thinking, I'm not lazy, I've been doing this for years, this is more beginner. So yes, lazy can be switched out with the word beginner, but I know there are pros out there that are straight up lazy, and sometimes that person is me. And that's why I made this video. So let's get into lazy versus pro guitarist. Number one, because I did this when I was a lazy and beginner guitarist, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. When you pick up a guitar, you just want to rip a solo. When you're jamming with your friends, you're just waiting for that moment to solo. Your only practice routine is spitting notes all over a jam track. And at a gig, every moment you have to play as many notes as possible, you dive right in. But you gotta practice your rhythm guitar and your feel, because rhythm guitar is where you spend 90% of the performance of any song, and also that focus on rhythmic feel is going to bleed over to your rhythm playing, because if your rhythm playing is off, the rhythm in your solos is probably off too. Alright, so this is something that we do too much and not enough. Guitar players love effects and all these little toys and gadgets that create these crazy sounds, which is great, but the moment we find a sound we like, we sit on it. Just like when you learn or write a song, you take the time to figure out the chords of each section, you should also consider the tone of each section. Does this section require delay or a chorus or a phaser? Your effects are a tool for supporting the dynamics of a song and creating an atmosphere in the sonic space. Of course, during a live performance, you'll have one or two consistent tones, but tastefully and intentionally weaving in effects during different sections of songs is the most appropriate and dynamic way to make use of guitar effects. But with all the pedals and amps and guitars out there, it's easy to go overboard and develop a serious case of gas. Don't be fooling. I know it, you know it, the whole world knows it. You either have or had gas. Me too. I bought a guitar and an amp, and then all of a sudden I look at that guy and I'm like, man, I want the guitar he's got. Or that delay pedal sounds dope. Oh, I want that distortion pedal that everyone has. His pickup sounds sick. Actually, a multi-effects pedal would sound pretty dope. And before you know it, we bought all this stuff that I have barely taken the time to really get familiar with and get familiar with the capabilities of it. I certainly thought John Mayer's signature guitar would help me sound more like him, rather than really learning how to make my guitar sound good on my own. Because if you have the thought in your head, oh, I would have better tone with this amp, or I'll play smoother with this guitar, or the pros have this effects pedal. No, those are helpful, but they do not make you a better guitarist. A lazy person relies on the gear for their sound. An actual pro can be handed almost any guitar and make it sound amazing because they understand how to use their gear, because they're skilled at it and they practice with it a bunch. So stop getting gas. Gear acquisition syndrome. That's what it's called, by the way. I don't know if I ever clarified. I will admit, for this next point, I did this all the time. I'd play over the songs before rehearsal and hope to get it right, but if the other musicians didn't have the songs down as well, the musical cues would be missing and the song would crash and burn. Now, I've played many gigs that had both arena touring pros and local amateurs in the same band, and always the touring pros had a pen and paper with a handwritten chart in front of them making notes. Even with low caliber gigs, the habit and standard of excellence was always there. If the idea of writing charts sounds intimidating to you, no, you don't need to go to music school to learn how to write a chart. Every guitarist, bassist, and drummer's handwritten chart that I've seen is wildly different. Since you're the only one who needs to understand it, you don't need a standard format. It's only for the arrangement and to make note of any tricky parts in the tune. A lazy guitarist plays the chords of the song and what he already knows versus actually learning the song. And sure, maybe you went beyond learning just the chords and figured out the guitar part note for note, but that's not enough. A song isn't a guitar part. It's a melody with a chord progression and a beat or a feel to give it a flow. So to truly learn a song, you need to be able to play the chords and the melody on guitar, and piano preferably, just a different instrument to get that perspective. and at least be able to scat the bass and drum part, be familiar with any other key melodic moments, and be able to play it in all 12 keys. Learning a song this in-depth is especially important with improvisation, because when you have this knowledge and familiarity with the song, you're able to really add to it instead of just play whatever you think makes you look good. I'm just going to call this section Being Selfish on a Gig. See, a lazy guitarist will only ever have their own interests in mind, and it's very easy to get caught up in this. You get really excited about an idea, you get really excited about a new technical skill that you really want to try out, and you're just looking for every opportunity to throw it in there, but you forget that every musical decision you make must support the song, especially while a singer or soloist is taking the lead. In those moments, everything you play must be with the intention of making the vocalist sound better, locking in with the rhythm section, not taking up space or stepping on the lead. When your solo comes, do whatever weird shit you want to do, but everywhere else, you're supporting the song and providing a bass for the lead.
If you like this video, please, I actually need you to press like. It's my livelihood. For every like I get a little grain of rice. And if I get enough of them, I'll have a whole bowl of rice. And then hopefully I won't be as skinny as I am now.